we are back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Watch on my reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not gonna happen this video. So without further ado, y'all see my co-host over there, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her. She joins me here. And she's trying to get her yarn together. We got you, girl. We got you.
Sorry, y'all. Caffeine crash. It's happening.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. This is Bold and Bougie Season 1, Episode 4, review and recap. I am trying to get these videos done. I had to take a little bit of a break due to some personal reasons, but y'all, I am back and getting caught up. So we are, going to get these things going. As we have a lot of videos to get through today, so hopefully we get through them as quickly as possible. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode here. So I'm not going to cover everything because this episode was, I wouldn't say it was a lot. It really was. But one of the things I will say about this episode is Malaysia pissed me off. Um, Gaucher pissed me off. And Princess pissed me off. I don't feel like Crystal pissed me off in the beginning. But when I watched it a second time, I understood actually where she was coming from. And then I think she probably pissed me off at the end. So all these ladies on this cast are becoming unlikable at this point. And that doesn't do well for a good show. And the only one that I like is the one I did not like before the show.
You know what? I agree. I couldn't stand Crystal at some time, but her and Tamika, but now they are my favorites on this show. So
Talk about redemption. Yeah, redemption is real. Redemption is a real thing because there was no way you could have told me I was going to defend Tamika Foster. There's no way you would have got me to say I like Tamika Foster because I did not like her at all. So, in terms of that, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to break down the things that really didn't matter because I need to get on to the other video show. I'm sorry if you guys really wanted like a whole narration. I am so sorry. So, I'm going to start it off with Crystal and Malaysia meeting up at this store. I'm going to start there. Crystal and Malaysia meet up at a store, and when they meet up, they are talking about, Crystal, liking, I guess, the style. She said Malaysia has great style. She always, is always dressed, and I'm looking at Crystal like, Malaysia's style's okay. It's not the best. And then when Malaysia walked up, and I was looking at her, what she had on, I was like, yeah, she had on this black top with dangles of like fabric hanging off with these bright colored pants. And I'm like, yeah, this is really good style, Crystal. This is really good style.
she tried to match the red that was in her pants, like with her bag. But red is one of those colors where you got to be careful, especially when you have a lot of other colors. Why my husband looked in the room because he heard something fashion. He gonna look up at the TV. He said, "What the hell is going on?"
I was confused by that too because I was like, Malaysia. And I thought, and I think Malaysia can dress probably. It was like season 5. It was when she was first dating again after she had got divorced from her husband. That's when she started to dress to me, but then she fell off again.
You know
So
what? I agree. Side note, hello, Shayna. I hope it's Shayna and not Shauna. If it is, I'm sorry, girl. Um, I agree with your comment. With this show, it holds attention. I think that's why James was saying at the beginning of this, it was a good episode, but at the same time, not good enough to where we can like literally recap scene for scene for
right,
scene.
because I feel like there was only key moments that stuck out. The rest of it was just extra.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm only going to talk about it. Plus, I'd rather talk about the other shows I have listed on my recap. But what I'm going to say about that whole scene was what came up, Crystal wanted to confront her about Dr. Princess. And I laughed because I was like, Crystal, once again, this ain't the time or place for this. Because this is another business. I think this was a business venture. She was promoting this store, if I'm not mistaken. So this was not the time to confront Malaysia. You're supposed to take her out to lunch and say, hey, I don't appreciate that and your friend and all this BS. So I'm gonna need you to correct her next time, but not in no business. This is the second business function you have had where you had to correct somebody or get angry or get irate. So she pretty much told her, "Look, I'm not feeling your friend. I'm gonna have other events later on. I would appreciate if you didn't bring her." And this is Malaysia. Oh no, you're not gonna tell me who to bring. I'm gonna bring whoever I want to bring to your events and everything like that. And if that's the case, then just don't invite me. And Crystal said, "Fine. I just want to invite you because I can't have nobody in my space. So if that means that I have to rescind your invitation, that's what I'm going to do." And Crystal tried twice. She said, "Okay, but look, I really want you at my event, but I'm not going to want that lady there." And she said, "You're not going to tell me who to bring and all of this." And Malay and Crystal's like, "Okay, well then you have a great day. We can be done here." And so
Malaysia is annoying as hell for that. That's what I'll say for now. That annoyed me.
it annoyed me too because I felt like, first of all, you can't tell somebody who is holding an event that you're going to bring a plus one and they just gonna have to deal with it. Where in the hell do people do that at? If I tell you I don't want somebody at my event that you brought as a plus one, I don't want her there. Because you know what's gonna happen? One or two, security either is gonna escort her, make sure she gets to her car safely, or she'll get slapped. One of the two is gonna happen. So
Listen, this is classic Malaysia. Apologies, y'all. I'll be back on camera in just a moment. But Malaysia, I need Shawnee. I'll refer to you as the right last name, Henderson. I need you to send me receipts, sis, of Malaysia on Basketball Wives literally having issues with the other women because of the bullshit that she's doing to Crystal coming to her way. So I'm over Malaysia. Her guests have been a problem on television for well over a decade. And Malaysia also, in my opinion, is never accountable for her part in things. She also, in my opinion, comes off as very fake, but also like she could be problematic. Used to love Malaysia, but you can't tell nobody else who you gonna bring to their shit. It just don't work like that. And she know that based on where she from. It just don't work like that. It just doesn't. But at the same time, James said this on the previous recap video for the previous episode of Bold and Bougie. And I said it too. Ain't no way in hell I'm gonna leave my event because a bitch that I didn't invite want to get off at the mouth. If anything, what Crystal should have done is go to Malaysia, then go find her, knowing that she was at the event, and say, your friend is wilding and she needs to leave. Or she should have told security to escort Dr. Princess and her certifications out of the building. But to not do anything, you leave your own shit and then come back complaining looks weird. Of course, Malaysia's going to be like, I'm going to do what I want because you should have asserted yourself then. But either way, Malaysia's wrong. So that is all. I'll shut up now, y'all.
no, I know you need to say that and a whole lot more because I feel the same way. I felt like Malaysia was tripping. There's
Yeah.
no way you gonna tell me that, oh well, my friend gonna come and oh well, if you don't want her there, then you don't invite me. And it was like, okay, let's trace back a few steps here. You and I are coworkers, and we're on this fucking show.
Yeah.
That lady is not on the show, so I don't know where in the fucking your mind you think that you can bring her to my event and I'm just supposed to deal with it.
Mm.
I don't know where the hell y'all, I don't know where people do that shit at. But there's no way Malaysia could have told me that. There's absolutely no way she could have did that at that damn store. I have to give it to Crystal. She way better than I ever could have been because there's no way Malaysia would have got cussed out. Way harder than she
That's
than
where I will say Crystal has grown. Watching her in other shows, she would have security would have had to stop her. So to see her handle it that way, I was surprised, but at the same time, I'm not saying you got to go through life like going off and checking bitches, but if somebody disrespects you, I'm a firm believer in matching their energy and shutting shit down. And Malaysia disrespected her out of nowhere. She was asked politely. She didn't say anything about Malaysia. She just said, I don't like this lady. She didn't call the lady all types of bitches or nothing. She just said, please don't have her around me. But I'd like to continue inviting you. And for her to do that, Malaysia, because you wouldn't do that if you were on the cast of people such as the show as Love and Hip Hop or, even Basketball Wives. She wouldn't be able to get away with bullshit like that. They ran her off of her show. on basketball wise. So I don't know what Malaysia's doing or if she's in her head thinking she's a star of this show, but relax, Malaysia. Keisha, relax.
No, I know Keisha is LaQuisha.
Oh, ooh.
Yeah, how how funny she forget. She don't go by that name. So yeah,
Well, she acting like a LaQuisha. And
she
she
sure
was.
is. Yeah, exactly. So the next scene we'll talk about was Goshay meeting up with Dr. Ken. Shout out to Dr. Heavenly for arranging that together. Um,
Goshay will be friends with Heavenly.
yeah, that when she said it, I said, "Yep, that's exactly what I. That's a friendship I see 100%." So when she was talking to Dr. Ken, it was a lot of her not taking accountability for choices that she made in response with how her children deal with her. And I said this before. I feel like you just wanted to be rich. You just wanted money. And you felt like because you did not, you went without a lot of things that having money would have made up in your life in such a way that even if your kids had everything they need, that it was going to be better because having money is what you saw out of your parents' relationship with you. But see, and that's the thing. What I want to tell parents: having money is grand, but being whole is even better. You have to be whole. It takes a balance. Yes, you have to make money. Yes, you have to do all of that. But at the same time, having relationships with your kids in a way where they have your trust, your being, and everything because you brought them into this world is even more important. And I just feel like for Gaucher to not have that awareness was really interesting to me when I was looking at her. How did you feel about that therapy session since this is what you're trained in?
That's funny. Um, I like Dr. Ken. I feel like he always does a good job. People forget that the therapist is not supposed to tell you the answer to your problems, but kind of give you little signals and things to help connect the dots of stuff that you discover. But I think he does a good job. I thought it was interesting that Gaucher couldn't connect that, but at the same time, I think that psychologically, in terms of the science behind psychology, it makes sense, especially hearing how her mother was and what she lacked from her mom. A lot of people who lack emotion, affection, attention, or income from their parents end up either focused or striving towards money, like materialistic things such as houses, money, things of that nature, clothing brands. So oftentimes they'll mix materialism and love together, and then the result is kids that feel like they've missed out on something so important that comes with love, which is the attention, the care, and the patience. I think it's good she's in therapy, but she has to pick a lane. Either you want to be the show villain or you want to be the work in progress who's like people eventually root for. Um, Kids don't usually just ignore their parents for no reason. For a kid to just go ghost from their parent, in my opinion, I don't think kids lie about stuff. Something significant had to happen. I don't think that thing of significance will we ever see on camera, but it's so significant her son don't want to talk to her. And usually boys love their mamas regardless. So I don't know. I appreciate her being authentic, but I'm just like, I don't get you, Goshay. I just don't get you.
I don't get her either, and that was the thing. I felt like, and mind you guys, we probably didn't see all of that therapy session. We probably saw a good portion of it that they wanted to air, but I don't feel like knowing Gaucher for these last few episodes. I don't feel like she told that therapist, Dr. Ken, the entire truth. I felt like, and that's what a lot of people do, which is why they say therapy does not work. Is because you're not telling them everything. You're telling them what the problem is, but you're not. It's like you're skipping the step and going to DEF instead of telling them ABC because you have to start from the beginning. You can't start from DEF and thinking he's the therapist is going to pick up the beginning of that story. They're not. They're just going to basically handle where you are. And if you don't call it the root of it, if you don't say what it is, it's never going to get resolved. So I don't feel like, in my opinion, And as I said, we didn't see everything, but in my opinion, I don't feel like she told the therapist everything. I don't think she said.
Even if you did see everything, the way it works, who's to say that that was even discussed further while in the session, you know? And that's why I always tell people when you see people on television in counseling or even shows like Marriage Boot Camp, Couples Therapy, things like that, like take that shit with a grain of salt because anyone who's been to therapy, rich, poor, whatever, will tell you that what you see on television is very, very different from your actual experience, regardless of your therapist when you do go for therapy. But I don't know. Goshay seemed like the type that would lie to a therapist and then cry about it. So
I don't know if like she would necessarily lie. I do think that she will like withhold information
that's a
that.
form of lying.
Well, here's the thing. It's lying by omission technically, but at the same time, lying by omission to me is kind of like it's a calculated indifference. And what I mean by that, a calculated indifference does not necessarily mean it's a lie. It just means that you're withholding that information because you don't really trust the person to handle it or to feel like they should know it. And to me, sometimes that's about saving your peace and serenity more so than it is being truthful. Because sometimes when I think of a lie by omission, what does that really cost that person to know that information?
Well, when it relates to therapy, it cost her her own healing. She's slowing down her own process.
No, and I agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. When we're talking about Gaucher, no, we're talking about
Yeah.
Gaucher. Absolutely, no, I 100% agree. I'm just saying, like in a regular everyday life,
No,
like
in a regular everyday setting, like lying by omission, that's expected. But when you're going to see your therapist, that's what I meant related to Gaucher. You shouldn't withhold information. You should tell the truth. And that's something that unfortunately is common in Black communities too. The ones that do eventually get past the stigma and go to therapy, then they either deal with, like I dealt with this with my mom, and she's a fucking therapist growing up. Don't tell them about this. You know, don't tell your therapist about that. Like, and then after the session, like instead of processing my feelings, I'm being questioned about what I disclosed to my therapist. And, you know, it's a touchy subject, but Gaucher just don't come on TV looking at a therapist if you're gonna half-ass it. Please don't. Like
right.
she gonna make me defend Marie from Bell Collective because even though
That's
we keep
why you
hearing the
brought her up
same
because that. Yes, that's what I thought
shit,
about.
yeah, she says the same shit and we get tired of it. But I've gone to therapy for years. James has also done many years in therapy. I had to reflect, like, I've gone to therapy and talked about the same stuff over and over and over again because that's probably why the fuck we there. But ooh, she making me defend Marie, Tamika. Oh, hmm. All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, y'all. So moving on from there, Tamika has this event. It's a Friendsgiving theme because she's going to do a podcast and have the ladies as audience members. She didn't tell them this specifically, but she basically has them, or she figures, and this is what people in the Bay Area do, and we need to stop doing this. We bring people over for food and drinks, but we have an ulterior motive for them to help with something. We do this in the Bay Area. This is a very much Bay Area tactic.
Guilty.
Yep.
Very guilty.
So she has them over, and it's very awkward once Malaysia gets there because she has this wig on. She wore it also with Crystal. The wig is heavy, and it's like she didn't apply it right. I'm just looking at Malaysia like, no,
She's
that
trying
was.
to go for like, what is that white lady's name? Is it Farrah Fawcett? Am I saying it correctly? Is that
I
her
didn't
name?
get Farrah Fawcett from that. I got more Catherine back from Dukes of Hazard, Daisy Duke, because that's how
One of
she.
them white women from, but listen, it's on white women, Malaysia. Not everything that they wear is meant for us, and not everything that we wear is meant for them. That's what I'll say.
Thank you, because I could have said it better myself. But they, they sit around because they're wondering what they're doing here, and so Tamika comes in. She's all happy and giddy, which was really rare for her because she's never like this. But she, pretty much has them get food, and they want to talk about Princess and Tamika's issue. Or no, Gaucher and Tamika's issue. And she goes, no, we're not going to talk about that. No, 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 no. This is Friendsgiving. And mind you, Gaucher is on the way there. She actually pops up. And They for the sake of everybody else, they actually were cool. And once they get there, Tamika tells them, "Hey, this is actually we're doing a podcast here, and we need you guys to be our audience." And the girls were all like, "Oh no, no!" Especially Malaysia. And this is once again where Malaysia pisses me off because then she decides she wants to go ahead and leave because at this point she goes, "Oh no, you're not gonna do this to me," and I'm Malaysia Pargo and this, and I'm looking at her like,
I think Malaysia thinks she's more famous than she actually is.
right.
I think a lot of the basketball wives, especially who are still on the show. By the way, y'all, basketball wives be coming back. Brandy's coming back. Follow us, subscribe to us. I recap it. James will be there too. But I feel like the basketball wives cast, they often, hi Naya, they think they're more famous than they are. Let's keep it real. Jennifer Williams, Evelyn Lozada, Tammy Roman, I think are the largest stars to evolve from that show. I think a lot of the women on it either assume that because they film next to them that they have the same popularity. Malaysia doesn't. She just doesn't. I'm not trying to diminish what she's done. I know since she's invested, I believe, and we heard she does the real estate properties on this show, but like in terms of like fame and being a socialite or someone people think of as business, we don't. So for her to be strutting around, I'm Malaysia Pargo this, like, and
Mm.
and Lord.
Hi Naya. First off, thank you for coming. You are not late. We appreciate you being here on such short notice because I didn't make any qualms that I was coming back to YouTube this week. So I appreciate you being here. But I'm gonna say this also about Malaysia. I feel like I want her to humble herself just a little bit because I do feel like, in terms with Malaysia specifically, she has that California mentality where it's like what you said. She thinks she's bigger than what she is, but she thinks that like in all realms of life. And I need her to humble herself because, ma'am, you went through hardship on that last season of Basketball Wives. We're not gonna act like you was Malaysia who had it. No, you was living in one bedroom apartments, waiting for your next check to come in so you get that house in LA. We're not gonna act like we didn't watch that on TV. So the fact that you think that you are so much better, like I get what Tamika was asking, was kind of, once again, that's Bay Area shady. I'm from the Bay Area. I've known people who have done this. That's why I knew what this was right when she said it. But that doesn't mean you react like that. I would have laughed and I would have just said, you know what? I appreciate the food. I'll stay for 20 minutes and then I'm out. Because that's the least you could have done was at least humor her because she did feed you.
Or you could take the path of Jackie Christie and stay, make loud commentary, and end up a part of the podcast. Bitch, but make yourself more than an audience member. But I'm getting tired of the complaints from Malaysia. But then again, the show is called Bold and Bougie, and that was bougie behavior what Malaysia did. So
Absolutely, it really was. And in terms with Malaysia, when she leaves, before she heads out, Crystal walks up on her. Now, at first she was laughing with Crystal. She said, not you. You were the last person I wanted to see come down here and come get me. Not you. And Crystal pretty much said, look, I wanted to apologize. And this is where Crystal got me fucked up. This is where Crystal had me fucked up. But we gonna finish this. She goes, I really didn't want that to come off. Of course, I want you at my events. And Malaysia was like, I was thinking about it when I was in the car, and I really saw where you were coming from. And I just thought that was horrible. And I was gonna call you, but I just figured I was gonna see you again, so why not? And I'm looking at Malaysia like, that's the problem.
Malaysia don't take accountability, never has on TV. Every time she has a problem with someone and they get back cool, I was gonna call you. Girl, I wanted to reach out. If you wanted to do it, if you wanted to call, you would have made the fucking phone call. It's 2024. It's the phone. Like it's not hard.
I'm just, or you could have just, when you were sitting in the car, I'm sure Crystal was still up in that establishment. You could have walked back up in there and just said, hey, girl, look, I just thought about it in the car and I was wrong for how I reacted. I was just taking, the defense of my friend, not really thinking that she very much well could have been wrong in that situation and not giving you the benefit of the doubt. I am so sorry. It's not that hard to do. So Crystal better than me because I said, well, first of all, one, you should have called me so that way you can apologize. And then two, why the fuck did Crystal apologize? I wouldn't have apologized to no damn Malaysia. Malaysia would have.
I'm telling you, Crystal just wants to be liked. I think that's the only reason she would do that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna say it like this: there's not so much liking in this world to where when you're right in the situation, you pretty much made yourself wrong, in spite of some other lady that you really don't even know. That's crazy as hell to me. And no, I'm good. I would have said Malaysia, good night, have a good night. I wouldn't even have went down there. So
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm the same, but I'm comfortable in my own skin. I really don't give a fuck about rumors or how people feel, what they say about me. I mean, Crystal's not there, but hopefully someday. James said, "Why?" He said, "I'm not doing that shit." It was
no,
funny
I'm
thing.
really not. No, when I tell y'all, I really when I looked at Crystal, I said, you out of your fucking mind if you really think you supposed to apologize to this lady for the bullshit she did. Where the hell they do that? I would, and that's how you know she really is intimidated by other women. She really is. Because there's
Yes.
no way you would have thought you were wrong in that situation, Crystal. There's no way you would have thought you were wrong.
I'm telling you, if Crystal starts to see like the value in herself outside of catching a man, I think that she would read a lot of these women for filth. But we'll see. I just hope somebody put Malaysia in her place. But I feel like
I want
Tamika's
someone to do it
gonna
too.
do it.
Like, I want somebody to do it to where she looks stupid.
Yeah.
Why after they did it? Like I
Because she
want
probably came on this show thinking, oh, I'm done with Basketball Wives. I'm done. She probably in her head thought, I'm Malaysia. They won't survive without me. They survived without her ass. I'm just saying, they survived without her ass. I feel like she came onto this show thinking, oh, they're going to see I'm not this person, but I'm getting the same bullshit she did there, she's doing here. So now that confirms that this is just how Malaysia is messy.
I'm saying like it's beyond messy. That's like you was just downright dirty. Like I couldn't believe that. But when so Malaysia's inspiration of leaving inspired the other girls to leave too. And Princess was walking down the stairs talking about, oh, I hope this isn't ghetto that I'm taking a plate home and everything like that. And mind you, as they were walking out, Gaucher was mad because she felt like this was pointless to be here. She wasted an outfit and everything. And the assistant is running up the stairs, finna go tell Tamika what was said. And then sure enough, that's what happened because they all got text messages, of Tamika saying, how dare y'all come to my house like that, talking about this was ghetto and everything. And Gaucher responded like, what are you even talking about? And they asked everybody like, "What's these text messages?" And Malaysia was like, "I didn't even get one."
She left,
So
which
yeah,
showed that Tamika had no problem if you guys would have left.
right, exactly. So in response to that, Malaysia arranges for Gaucher and Tamika to meet up with each other, and this shit went completely left, completely quickly. Because to me, Gaucher and Malaysia were coming down on Tamika, and I couldn't understand for the life of me what the hell was going on in this scene. Like, can you describe what was going on? Because I was confused.
The two people who had a relationship prior to the show that was actually genuine, who also have the worst personalities on this show, have teamed up, and now they are putting and fusing their two evils together like a persona in a fucking video game to gang up on Tamika. I think because Malaysia and Gaucher both in their head feel like I'm a boss, I'm this, I've been on the show prior. So I feel like with Crystal, they see like, oh, okay, we could beef with her. She'll say sorry. But with Tamika, this is someone who's not bowing down, is also appearing unbothered. So I think that they're trying to appear to look, they say there's strength in numbers. So I think they're thinking their numbers is going to make Tamika look bad. But a recapper who recaps this show just asked me what the hell was going on. What was the conversation about? So obviously what they were trying didn't work. I think they're intimidated by Tamika. I don't know why. Um, you guys are all on this show. You all have shows. You all prior. You all have backgrounds. You were all married to famous men, and for Gaucher, famous woman. So it don't make sense for them to have any issue with Tamika, but they seem to want to come for her.
And and I agree because and the reason why I say you explain because I was lost. I rewinded it 3 times and did not understand Gaucher or Malaysia coming at her. Like I get what I got what they were saying, but I did not understand because to me, Tamika didn't do anything. Gaucher was mad about a comment that she made about her being married to a woman, and it was like, that's her choice. She doesn't want to be married to a woman. Why are you offended?
Here's the thing: Gaucher getting mad at Tamika for how she responds to Gaucher's bullshit and messiness, and Malaysia has spent now 2 episodes in a row upset and trying to check somebody for checking her in their environment. So neither of these bitches have an argument. Uh, if Malaysia thought this was going to help her reputation, is not. Gaucher just always been messy on TV, and I think that's just Gaucher. So, it is what it is. But she don't. I don't like this combination of these women, and I think they got the cast wrong. The more I watch each episode and see how these ladies are interacting, especially when there's issues in the group. Naya is correct. There is always that one, but I don't think. How do I put this? Somebody like Dr. Princess, for example, I don't feel she meshes with this cast at all. At all, even Tamika. It's amazing that they're friends. And it has nothing to do with age or any of that, but I just don't think they did a good job casting. And Carlos King's name is behind it. And I'm sorry, Carlos King. I am sorry, but he usually has shows that have shitty cast. And I think that can be corrected. So
I think it can too if he gets out of the way of casting. Because between this show and Love and Marriage Detroit, I feel like I don't know what the hell I'm watching. It is so crazy. It's so crass. And with this cast specifically, with these ladies, I just feel like you just want a whole bunch of ladies to jump on one lady. And that's what I'm not signing up for. I don't want to see a lady get mad at a damn comment when you started with this lady first. Let's keep it real. I don't want to see Malaysia in a damn boutique yelling at a girl about who she wants to bring as a +1 when it's not even her shit.
yep.
It's like why is this happening? Why are these the conversations, Carlos? Like we want to know. So yeah, I'm not with this show. So the episode pretty much ends off of that. Y'all, I'm gonna keep going with this show because I don't want to drop another show like this. But oh my god, these women are exhausting. I don't like any of them. I don't. And
I
maybe
feel like this cast could be okay, honestly, if they removed 3 people. I think I think Princess needs to go. I think she's better behind the screen, not on it. I think that Malaysia needs to go just because we'll never get an authentic show. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way about Gaucher. I just don't think we'll ever get anything authentic with her on this show. And I think that they could also do things that become controversial to where it's a problem or a discussion, like we've seen on, Housewives of Potomac or, other shows. So I think if they replace those 3, this show could have something, but, we're here. But I'll keep watching as long as he's recapping.
Naya's comment is absolutely true. The material be stale, absolutely, and that's the thing. Is that it's nobody has anything authentic really outside of Gaucher and Tamika. Nobody has anything authentic. I don't care about Princess's titty issue that much because I felt like that was vain and vanity.
She's
Considering
got titties everywhere she goes that we've seen her in since crying about what happened to her. We've seen her with big cleavage. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I saw cleavage, but I didn't know what I was really looking at.
She has breasts because the implant is there. She did that part. She doesn't have nipples, but the world can't see your nipples. She can. So I'm Yeah, it is stale, Naya. You right, girl. I tried, but you right. You right. Stale as hell.
Very stale, very much, But that was the end of as I said, this was the end of the episode, y'all. As I said, I will still keep this show. I'm gonna give them one more episode. I don't want to drop it. I really don't because I need the content, to be honest with y'all. But oh my god, they're all exhausting.
You
They're
can do
all
it. People like the show, so I'm sure you're at least getting views. It's worth it to keep.
okay, y'all. Mrs. Best spoke. It's worth just keep.
But if you
So,
don't get views, obviously don't do it. But if you're
no,
getting
yeah, I think I'm getting
yeah.
quite a couple of views. So, but that was it, you guys. So we're gonna go ahead and move it on to the next show. I'm gonna recap, which is Real Housewives of Potomac. Yeah, y'all ain't gonna miss this. So
Was it a finale or are we in the reunion? I don't
neither.
remember.
We got 2 more episodes before the reunion.
Hell. All right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, and because we still got to cover that fight. So yeah. So you guys make sure you're going over to Real Housewives of Potomac recap. I'll be right there. Thank you guys for coming. This was Bold and Bougie season 1 episode 4 review and recap. Mrs. Best, thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next recap in just a few minutes. See you guys.